With 24 days until AC Boise kicks off their inaugural game of professional soccer, we turn our attention to the supporters. We're now we'd like to welcome in Ryan Pritchett from the River Guard supporters group for the club. Just under a month to go. How you feeling?
Good morning, guys. It's really early here. Yeah, we're excited. We're bouncing off the walls right now. Although there's a million things to do before we get to that first game here at home. We've got an extra month because our first 4 games are away. So we've got a lot going on, trying to get everybody rallied and get our things together. So yeah, it's amazing.
I'm messing with our screen setup just for a second because I want everybody to see Ryan's name and the River Guard. It gets cut off a bit when we go with the 3 box, which I'm going to take us back to just because it's a slightly better view for everybody. Ryan, so give me some history here. Give me some background. Soccer for you in Boise, the wait for a pro team, was that something that were you waiting, or was this something that kind of happened and you just jumped in with both feet?
Yeah, I mean, for me, we've never had pro sports here. We've had a bunch of minor league teams. I grew up here, went to school here, and I did what most kids do, which is move to the big city. And I went to Seattle, where I absolutely fell in love with my Sounders. And I was there from 2009 all the way up until we moved back to Boise in 17. And that for me was, something when I moved back here, I have been missing like you wouldn't believe. I fly to Seattle, a couple times every season just to go to matches, travel down to RSL to watch them play, maybe over to the little stepbrother in Portland. But yeah, that for me has been missing big time. And when I found out we were getting a team, it was like, wow, you're kidding, right? Like, this isn't really happening in Boise. Boise, we have a million kids that play soccer, but you talk to a lot of adults and they're like, oh yeah, it's really boring, right? They're not into it. And I think what you've seen since they announced the team and word is spread, people are getting really excited. So we're stoked.
That's great to hear that there's a bit of a groundswell going, and I guess the focus or the appreciation for the sport is spreading beyond the active youth ranks. So kind of fast forward, like the supporters group is the River Guard. The team hasn't kicked a ball yet, at least in an official game. How did the group come about?
Well, like all things these days, it started on the internet through some Reddit or a subreddit back and forth comment section. I kid, but it really started, I think, on day one at the team announcement when they kind of did the brand announcement. And they talked about what was coming. Here's the colors, here's the logo. And they said not a single word about supporters, not one. Like, here's what we have planned. And so there were a few people there who are part of our leadership group who were like, what the heck? All right, I guess we're doing this. And they went out to all the socials and started talking about it. And I kind of kept seeing the same thing pop up from one person. And I vehemently disagreed with him. And it was like, hey, let's get together and sit down at a bar. And, Roger, who is our other co-president, we didn't know each other from anybody. We sat down, had a couple pints, and we turned this thing into, from nothing to something. We just hit like 110 members, I think, yesterday. We haven't kicked a ball, right? We've met most of the people that have become members, but we're seeing memberships from all over the state come in, people that plan on being here and really understanding supporters culture, which is amazing.
Yeah, so that's obviously part of this, right? And we as American soccer fans, right? I'm sure you remember this from the Sounders entering MLS. If you were there in 09, the Sounders had existed, so there was a culture that got pulled into Major League Soccer. We get into our heads about how we're supposed to do all these things, right? Are we supposed to be copying what they do on the terraces in England? Are we supposed to be aping South Americans' football culture? Where do we take our cues? Can we do any of that without being cheesy and dorky and all that stuff? I don't care. Like, I'm past this thing about judging song sheets and things like that, and capos and because we have to start somewhere. So how have you and Roger and everybody else in leadership with the River Guard talked about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I'm such a like, let's not do anything anybody else has ever done. And then you go and you look at the reality of that situation is, how many songs can you write that you can teach people organically? And that's happening in the bars. So like I'm at Brown Beard Brewing this morning. We're getting ready to brew our very first River Guard beer that we're going to sell, and right around the corner from the stadium. Our big thing was like, how do we be authentically us without it being a copy of Seattle, a copy of Portland, a copy of Galaxy or Liverpool, or name your favorite club? And that's what we're doing. So, one of the things was, let's not use a single song we heard in our time as supporters of other clubs. And so we've been writing a lot. We've probably got 20, 30 songs that, are going to boil down to 4 or 5, because it's really hard to get 500 people, which is what our supporter section holds, 550, to sing one song, let alone 4 or 5. So, we've got part of our drum squad. Jonathan is from Argentina, and he brings a ton of Argentine flair in his drumming and has been teaching us Spanish for those of us that did not know those songs. And we're kind of rewriting them to fit us, to fit Boise. So, yeah.
That's
so. Cool. Sounds like you've been doing a lot of work and meeting up with the supporters quite a lot. You got songs written and you got beer brewing around the corner. So is there like a March match? Do you have your guys' like path all planned out already?
We think we do. It's about a 10-minute hike from where we are to the stadium in the safest possible way. We have a pretty busy road out front. And that happens to be the pathway right into the stadium grounds. So we're working on alternate paths through kind of the neighborhood behind us to get there. But yeah, we've got that down.
You mentioned that when you went to the brand reveal, when you heard the team talking, nobody said anything about supporters. Now that kind of gets into a little weedy area about whether clubs should be directly involved in supporter groups anyway, right? Which I would love to hear your opinion about. But that thing about working with the club, right? Because you do want to have a relationship with the club. You maybe don't want to be controlled by the club or dictated to by the club, but you want to have a relationship. So tell me where they're putting you. Tell me what the club has done for you.
Yeah, you bet. I mean, that was one of my biggest stakes in the ground that I made sure everybody understood was super important to this culture, which is independence. When you go to our website, you will see independent supporters of AC Boise right under the banner, because for us, being completely separate from the club is important, right? We don't really want anybody telling us what we can and can't do within the rules of USL, right? And the club has been amazing. We've had access to anything we wanted. So, Brad Stith, our owner, he made sure the supporter section had safe standing. He is very aware of what supporters bring to match day, what they mean for the product on the field, what they mean to, the rest of the people in the stands. And so they've given us access to everything. I think 5 or 6 of us were there a week ago Monday to walk the grounds. They gave us a full tour of everything, which I don't think a lot of people in the town have actually seen that aren't media. They let us go over the supporter section, take measurements, because we've got drum stands to build and capo stands to build. And, we've got ambitious plans for TIFO. So knowing how big those sections need to be, they didn't just send us, architectural drawings and say, here's what you can do. And so they've been nothing but gracious, giving us access to everything and, giving us points of contact. I mean, I'm here today because, the head of marketing called me yesterday and said, hey, can you go on morning Kickaround? And I was like, sure, why not? Let's do that. And then they said 8 a.m. and I winced a little bit, but yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's early for you. The
we appreciate you coming on.
We do appreciate that. I threw up some pictures. That aforementioned marketing director sent us some photos of the first training on the pitch at the new stadium, or at the stadium there in Boise. So shout out to to Krista for sending these over. Obviously, you're seeing some players. Look, nice mountain background there in Boise, which is obviously going to be a feature of this. But I think so. That's the main stand, right? So give us, and then obviously there's sort of an additional stand that's below that.
Yep, those are all those are all suite seats, I think, below the main stand. So to the left of the players, and I'm not trying to plug our Instagram, but if you go to our Instagram, Jason, you will see the supporter section. It's right behind the goal in the south. So it's very, very steep. 550 safe standing. I call them spaces because they're not actually seats. Our entire section is GA. So when people come in that have supporter section seats, it's kind of find your favorite place to be and join on in.
And so I want to get kind of just like try to capture this moment for you right now as this concept becomes a reality, because we're seeing pictures here of your team, the players on your home stadium turf for the first time. These are pictures from, I think, yesterday or the day before. So you're about over 3 weeks until the first game, and the players are in town now. Try to articulate what this feeling is being right on the edge here.
It's amazing. It's we've had a lot of interaction with players. Certainly Blake, being a hometown kid, I used to do trivia like at a bar on Tuesday nights, and his dad was like on an opposing team. So I've heard the Blake stories forever. He played at the same club my kid plays for. So we're super proud to have Blake here. He's a hell of a player. The rest of the guys, Jake Dangler is a guy that, he came into town and knew nobody. Boys are leaving for spring training down in San Diego and needed somebody to help out with his dog. And one of our members immediately jumped up and said, I will take his dog. And so those interactions are happening more and more frequently, especially now that they're back. And it's amazing. The excitement is through the roof. I don't even have the right words to explain what this means to the city, what this means to me as a football fan and supporter, and getting to see people fall in love with this sport before we've even kicked off the ball, right? Like, there are people that have come up to me at a bar at a member meetup saying, I've never been to a match. Can I do this with you guys? And we're like, absolutely, jump in. And they're watching YouTube videos and they're seeing what happens all around the world. And they're like, are we going to do that? I'm like, yeah, that'll be us. Probably not fireworks, but yeah, smoke and drums for sure.
So here's my question real quick, if I could. And I know I'm going to put you in a very difficult position, Ryan. I think I know the answer, but let's imagine that at some point in the near future, we get to a US Open Cup match and AC Boise is up against the Seattle Sounders. Ryan, how you feeling? What's going on?
I hate it. I hated watching the Sounders play West Ham in a friendly because, I follow West Ham in England and have for, 25 years. I would hate every minute of that, but I'll tell you, I'm here. My roots are here. I wish everybody on the Sounders well, but damn, would I love to see a USL One team beat an MLS giant.
Yeah, that would be a great story. It would be horrible. One of the other things, difficult for you. One of the things, obviously, Ryan, that we keep having to ask coaches, your coach, Nate Miller, everybody else that comes on the show, is what promotion and relegation means. And obviously AC Boise starting at a very interesting time in American soccer where USL has this plan, and it's a USL League One team, and that's the right level to start at. It's a relatively low investment and those things we can see what the culture brings and how many fans show up, and they don't have to get out over their skis, but there's always a chance of moving up. So what do you think about this plan for USL?
I mean, I love it. On paper, I love it. Let's see how they actually execute on it. What does it mean to teams that are getting relegated? I think that's the biggest concern for me with USL is the teams that get relegated are going to be in a real financial pinch. And I think that's what should be like the motivating factor for these clubs is don't get relegated and stay up and get promoted. For us, our club has huge ambitions, right? Brad has not shied away from the fact that he wants to be a premier team in 2 or 3 years. He's already bought seats for the other side of the stadium to get this place to 15,000. and he's not messing around. So I think you could look around USL One, look at who spent the money this year, and it was Boise and Cosmos, right? They went crazy on how much they spent on players and bringing players in, and crazy is relative, right, to this league. But it's they were the big spenders, and they mean business. So I think you see that. You guys have talked to Nate, you've talked to Bill Taylor, you've talked to Brad. They all have the same ambition, which is we're getting promoted in the first year we can get promoted, and they will fight for that. So it's exciting. We're going to be here whether they win or lose, and we won't ever stop singing. So it's we'll be those annoying people in the South End that are screaming even when it's not the right day, but we hope to have more better days than bad days.
Yeah.
Exciting times ahead, and AC Boise's first game for the River Guard to support 24 days. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for bringing along some friends. I saw one of your fellow River Guardsmen gifted some memberships. So thank you so much for doing that. And I couldn't be more excited for you to be in this position. Very unique moment, and all the best as your support progresses towards reality.
One more
here
question.
In 24 days.
One more question. Sorry. And I mentioned this several times on the show before. I'm sure, Ryan, you caught this. My sister lives in Boise, so I'm hoping to get out. I'm hoping to find some way to double up and go see her and also be part of what's happening at AC Boise. What I have learned about Boise is that there is a strong Basque presence in Boise. And I'm wondering, I know that maybe even Bilbao has come, or there's been some attempt to connect to the Basque community through soccer in Boise. And I'm wondering how the River Guard is if you're integrating any of that, if there's any connection to the Basque community.
It's a great question. And by the way, your sister has not reached out to us yet, so we expect your
I'm going to tell her,
a member.
That's what I need to do.
We've always got seats for you guys, so anytime you come out, you're welcome. I mean, the Basque community here is huge. I think everybody's got friends that are Basque or a cousin, right? We hear it all the time. We haven't had like a ton of like connection with specific bars or restaurants within kind of the Basque district. It's part of our like long-term, right? How do we bring in more of that? Because for us, it is a huge part of our culture here. But not necessarily something that all of us are directly connected with. So it's a future thing for us.
Okay. All right, Ryan, thank you for waking up bright and early for us. Ryan Pritchett, the River Guard, 24 days until AC Boise kicks off as a professional soccer club. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.